Hey guys, welcome to chessroots.com. Today I will show you a game which was played between Gelfand and Aronian in Dortmund chess tournament 2006. d4, knight f6, c4, e6. This is a ninja Indian defense. Knight f3, b6. Now it is converted into Queen's Indian g3. The reason why g3 is played in this variation is black will have a strong bishop on b7 and white needs to challenge that bishop somehow later in the game. So here it played bishop a6 and queen c2. As we studied in the previous class that there are many major lines like b3, for example in this position b3, bishop b4 check, bishop b4 check, bishop d2, bishop e7, bishop g2. That will be a big line, major line, and now Gelfand just want to simply play interesting variations. Queen c2, bishop b7. Now the idea is simply to play bishop b4, maybe bishop e4 or knight e4 and trying to occupy this square. The moves like knight d2 preventing knight e4 or bishop e4 and even supporting the knight on f3. Then black will simply play bishop b4 pinning this, and now he can play bishop e4. After bishop g2 he can simply play bishop e4 or knight e4 followed by f5. So he simply played bishop g2, c5. Now here Gelfand played a pawn sacrifice line, which is which white will get very good initiative, d5. The reason why he gave the pawn is simple. After couple of exchanges, white can simply play knight c3 and e4. This d pawn will be weakness, and knight c3 will be coming with a tempo, and there will be no bishop e4 or knight e4. So ed5, cd5, bishop into d5, nd5. Then he can simply play a move like knight e5 pinning this bishop on b7. So bishop into d5, knight c3, bishop c6 and e4. e4 is forced, or else d5 will be a problem for white. Bishop e7, bishop f4. Now white all forces in the center and the d7 square, d7 pawn, d6 square, and he is limiting his black counter chances with a pawn sacrifice. So after castling, long castle, knight a6, simply wants to threat to play knight b4 followed by d5 maybe, but for that he needs to move his queen. So queen c2 to e2, knight b4 is forced to play, and a3, queen c8. Now if you capture this pawn on knight on b4, he'll simply take with c into b4, and this discover check will be a very dangerous after you move your knight on c3. So white simply avoid that and played king b1 with very fast. Now Aronian played another interesting move by playing a5. He is leaving that knight on b4. That knight is, although this knight is very dangerous to take. If you capture this knight, he can simply capture, for example, he can capture with a b4, and if you play knight d5, bishop into d5, e into d5, and rook e8. Now I think black will always have a counter play with b3 maybe, almost like rook h1 check. Yeah, that's very dangerous. So here after uh, knight e8. Here after a5 he simply played knight e5. Now the idea is simply to eye on d7 square and knight into c6 followed by e5, rook e8 and rook e1, bishop f8, and here he played a good move g4. G4 is good because once he want to keep the retreating square for this bishop, and also he can play g5, almost like g5, and queen f3 eyeing on f7, and also removing from the pin. So there are multiple ideas of playing g4. Even he can play bishop g2 and followed by f4. So g6, bishop g3. Now he simply wants to play queen f3 or even maybe f4. Rook e6, f4. Now black will try to play d6, maybe one point, but now the d6 is very dangerous, but still black was forced to play d6. After d6, knight into c6 was forced, knight into c6. Now knight b5. The reason why knight b5 is played, if not knight d5, knight b5, knight d4 comes and sits in this position. So knight e8 supporting the d6, e5 opening the diagonals of the both bishops. So d into e5, bishop d5. Now for example, if you move your rook like rook e7, simply f into e5 is a clear advantage for white. Knight d6 and all the pieces are I can go and attack on the f7. So a4 was played. He's trying for some counter chance with knight a5 b3, which doesn't really look any good way to attack in this position. F into e5, knight g7 supporting the rook on e6, queen f3, rook b8. Now he's planning to play knight a5 to b3 maybe, or even c4, knight push the pawn to c4, knight d6, bishop into d6, e into d6, knight d4, rook into d4, rook into e1 is forced to play, bishop into e1. All these moves are pretty forced. Queen into f7, king h8, d7. Here he could have played a move like queen f8, queen into f8, rook into f8, bishop h4 will wins the game. So he played queen c5. Now he is threatening rook f8, so he simply played bishop b4. Here Aronian just resigned in view of few moves as queen, somewhere like queen c7, bishop f8. Yes. So this was a very good game played by Gelfand. Hope you enjoy this game. See you in the next class. Bye.